Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for passing by. My name is Jose, and this is Kendo Tips. Today we're going to be talking about Kendo and watching some Kendo together. How's everybody doing today? I just wanted to make sure that everything's set up here. I was having a little bit of difficulties starting the stream. So if you're here, please let me know you're here. You can hit the like button. Just let me know if the volume is fine, everything's good. I want to remind everybody that if you want to go to the Discord, there's the Discord link right here. Actually, today I'm going to go over an examination guide that somebody translated and they posted it. It's posted in the Discord, so you can follow the Discord to make sure that you see what I'm putting here, because I'm not gonna read over everything. I just want to go through the main points. So yeah, you can enjoy that. Augusto Silas, welcome very much. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for passing by. Appreciate you guys. You're here. Again, I wanted to do okay, everything's good, Augusto. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, I had to restart the stream for a few seconds. That's why I also do the first like couple of minutes to make sure that everything's running. I can hear the volume. I go on my phone to see if the video's fine. Anyways, so There is a guide that someone sent me, and I posted on the Discord for examination. After my examination in Greece, I wanted to do an examination video on things, important things to keep in mind before you test or during your test. So this guide actually came out pretty handy because a lot of those things are already written there. And actually, all of those things I think are written there. And I wanted to share that with you. So I'll do this, maybe in the future I'll do a video or like demonstrating myself how to do some of these things. But I think for now this is going to be good. Also, I also wanted to go over the last round of Ippons for the All Japan. So we can enjoy that as well. You guys will let me know if the music is too loud or the music is fine. It's been kind of crazy couple weeks. Had a lot of birthdays in a row, so I've been a little bit inconsistent with my streaming now. But hopefully I can retake the streaming on Saturdays. Keep it around this time, 11, maybe noon, and that will be hopefully a good thing. I wanted to show for some people because I know some people here don't follow me on Instagram or don't, you know, maybe they don't get to see it. I posted a picture a while back when I was in Greece about this Tsukagawa that if you see, like, it tore up like all the way like up here. And it's funny because I posted, I was asking the question, why do you think this happened? And the consensus was, you know, maybe the tsuba was too tight on the shinai. But funny enough, it wasn't. It was just a regular, like, it's the tsuba that I've been using for a long time. As a matter of fact, like, I've been using this thickness of shinai for a long time. As a matter of fact, like, actually, I believe I wrote this when I was in Japan. So about, this Tsukagawa was probably about 4 years old. But for some reason, it broke when I was in Greece. It started like just tearing up. Funny enough, it feels like something like fell on it, like around here, because it feels like it's harder. It doesn't smell any difference, but like it feels harder here than it is like the rest of the Tsukagawa. So I don't know why this broke. Normally I would say probably because the tsuba being too tight, but it wasn't, and it just feels weird. I found this, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. And before I keep going, I want to thank Jan because he sent me 2 little shinais, so I can do a lot of more demonstrations here. If you guys know that I've been having one for the longest time. Now I have 2, thanks to Jan. I need to make an Instagram post also thanking him, but I'm excited. I wanted to open this on stream. I want to make sure that he knew that I got them and everything's good. But I also want to do something else with them, or at least start doing something else with them. So if you see, normally when you do shinai that you don't wear bogu with it, like it kind of starts turning like blackish, right? Or brownish from your hands, you know, like all the dirt, whatever, that it start picking up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start maybe like hitting them with a kote every once in a while, picking up with a kote every once in a while, and just hopefully that will make him turn a little bit blue. Okay, so again, as I said, the plan for today is going to be to watch some Kendo Ippons towards the end, but then first I wanted to do that testing guide, just so we can keep it on record here. We can leave it, and people, whenever they need it for reference, I'll probably try to make a clip out of this and save it in the in the YouTube channel, so anybody can refresh that if you need to go back to testing, or you can just join the Discord and find the guide in the Discord. That way you can read it, download it for yourself. All the credits are there. I want to make sure that people get credited. This is a translation from a guy from a few years back, so hopefully you get to enjoy it. Let me just open it up here. Okay. Okay. So this should be it. If you guys can please let me know if you can see this well. I'm gonna try to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I can just put it here. Should I go here? No, I guess I should go. Okay, hold on, let me see what happens if I do this. Okay, is better? Yeah, this is probably gonna be better like this. Can I do this? Okay. Let me see. Okay, just want to make sure that this is not bothering anybody. If anybody can tell me if you guys can see this fine. Let me see. I'm looking at my screen down here. So for some reason, for me, it looks very pixelated, but I think I have a very bad feed for myself. I'll read it for the people that are here in the video, but you can go back also to the Discord and download it and read it over there. Let me see. Oh, Augusto. Okay, cool. So you can see it. Good. Because I cannot really see it on the feed from YouTube. I can see it fine on my screen for what I'm streaming to you guys, but for some reason to me it looks really. As a matter of fact, what I can do is probably do some of this over here. Let me see. Okay, so maybe this is better too. Okay, so no, it's not better because I need to make sure I can see all this stuff too. You guys can see this. I'll just zoom in for whenever is needed. So let me just show the first page. It's an easy to understand Kendo grading guide. This, if you want to find it in Japanese, this is the cover. And you see the translation and when it was done. So it's been a minute. Pretty good resource, I think. One thing that I want to point out from the preface, again, I'm not going to read everything here because I don't want to keep you here forever. But one thing that I want to point out is a sentence that I saw here. So right here, this line where it says that he took the liberty of translating this so people would have a better understanding of the general expectations at each dan or cue. So this is very important because I feel that sometimes when we ask for advice for testing, a lot of times we have different thoughts of what is it, or different expectations of what is being asked from us. So I think guides like this offer a very good benefit because we can start standardizing our expectations and what should we be doing for training, rather than just running around crazy trying all different things right before a test. So anyways, I thought that this was a very good point to be made with that. I wanted to highlight it. So I guess we'll get it going. Okay, this is something that I definitely wanted to make a video about, and it has to do with your presentation for the test. Here are some points that I think they're very important to keep in mind before you go testing. Like the neck collar being tightly covered. You don't want it to be loose. Your uniform should be looking sharp. You should be looking nice. I try to look for the best bogu, not the best bogu, the best uniform that I have, that it doesn't look all, dirty or worn out, whatever. Make sure I wash it, and if I have to re-dye it for some reason, I'll do it. The hemos definitely should be symmetrical, and the doll should be straight. You see it sometimes that you put one of the strings a little bit higher than the other, and it does a little bit of a tilt. You want to avoid that type of things. You want to make sure that your doll, it's looking straight, nice, at appropriate height, not too high, not too low, just to make sure that everything looks good. I think this is important, and I think judges, even in competitions, judges start making an assumption of your level based on how you wear your uniform. So I think this is very important to keep in mind that these are the very little details that I think make the grade a little bit higher, right? Like just by the way that people wear their uniform, you can see their level a little bit. Hairs at the bottom of the hakama. Okay, I thought that was a given, but yes, that's very important. That's why I was kind of mentioning you don't want to have a uniform that's all worn out and looking bad. I feel like a lot of people do not pay attention to the back, and sometimes they have all this, like the backside all wrinkle and like not really uniform and stretched out. That's something that for me was a big point during my test, to make sure that my uniform was properly worn, not just like, wrinkle and pushed by the hakama. The sleeves long enough to cover the elbows. In my test, I was actually struggling with this one because I have long arms, and for some reason, like a lot of the kendo gis that I have bought, they're very short. They still cover my elbows, but they're too close to the elbows. So I was afraid that that was gonna be a problem. But thankfully, I found a kendo gi that I think was a little bit too big for me, but it worked. It worked. Oh, stream is like, I don't know what's going on with my. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay. No, Augusto, let me know if you can hear me. Wait, hold on. Okay. I don't think it's something in your end. It's definitely something on my end, because I've seen that I seen in my feed that like it's like the frame rate's dropping and everything. So that's I need to look into this. I don't know what happened. I haven't streamed for, like, you see, this is what happens when you don't stream consistently. I didn't stream last week, so it definitely I need to make sure that I start looking into this. Okay. Let's keep going, hopefully, because I don't want the stream to like fall apart midway. So the koshita should be above the tare himo, right? I actually seen this happen where the himo goes above when you don't tie the tare correctly, especially like if you bend over to grab something in those type of motions. I seen the himo go up. Hobbies, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for passing by. And the dohimo hanging horizontally on equal lengths. So, guys, all himo should be tied on equal lengths. Just so you guys know. Whenever you do, the knot, you want to make sure they're horizontal and they are equal, right? Like you don't want like one side like hanging more than the other. Some people like to wear this very loose. I like to wear it a little bit tighter, so just like this one. And I don't see it often for people to make it very tight. I don't think nobody wears it very tight, but I normally see people wearing it looser than this. For me, I like it to be like this. And guys, if your himo are too long, especially for the men, I do want to make a video about that. If your himo are too long, please, don't be scared of cutting them and making the appropriate length. Especially for the men, you don't want the himo to be, maybe it's in the guide, I think it's in the guide later. You don't want the himo to be like way too low, where it takes you too long to tie your himo. It just moves around. Sometimes it like flings around, like it gets into the man. You want to avoid all that. Okay, so the color of the kendo gi should be, okay, I think this is a little bit of a translation point. So the color of the kendo gi should be sticking to the back of the neck. Again, when you have a kendo gi that's like not oh, Avi, how you doing, man? Thank you very much for passing by. We're talking about little test points here, and we'll go watch Ippons later. When you have a kendo gi that is not like it's like too old, whatever. It starts like kind of like falling apart, like at the color. So you want to make sure that it just looks nice. The way that people, when I started Kendo, told it to me, like my senseis and my senpais, were like, think about it like it's a suit. You're wearing a suit, not just sports clothes. Again, no holes or tears on the cuffs. A hakama should be dropping downwards from the front and rising up from the back. So this type of angle, right? So you don't want the hakama to be horizontal, first of all, because the back side is going to be slightly higher. And another thing is that you want to make sure that from the front side, you're covering your feet. I think you should be able to see it in this one, right? You're hiding your feet here. You don't want this touching the floor when you're standing normally. But you also don't want this to be up too high, showing your ankles. Just a quick little point. Okay, wearing your men. This one is the trickiest one because we buy the men most of the time stock, right? So when the men is stock, not always you're gonna get this spacing right in front of your eyes. Sometimes it's slightly low, sometimes slightly back. But one of the things that you want to make sure to help you keep the bigger gap in front of you is to make sure you tie the knot right behind your eyes. Right, that's one little thing. Augusto, you have some problems with the blood flow in your arms, but when you take too long to tie your man, your arms start feeling weird. So that's also a point to have in mind. Okay, so yeah, if you want to avoid, as a matter of fact, this is my thing. I think when I was live in one of the streams when I changed the hemo on my men or something, I don't remember what I did. I was talking about how to put the men on quick. I always try to be the first one to be done putting his men on. Especially when you go to events, you want to make sure that you're quick so you can go practice with the sensei that you want to practice first. And if you don't put your men on quick, you're not going to be the first person. So yeah, you want to do everything like having the appropriate length of the men hemo on your men, so that way you can properly put your men on quick. I'm talking too much. Okay, your eyes should be positioned to see clearly between the 6 or 7 bar of the man gane from the top spot where the man it's a bit wide. Okay, so yeah, there's what was the name of it? Monomi maybe. So this gap has a name. If somebody remembers that, please send it to me. I haven't thought about this in a while, but. The wider gap you want to make sure that it's in front of your eyes, obviously, because it's going to make it easier for you to see. And again, this also has to do with wearing the men properly when it's not. Oh, let's see. Probably should do this with the men, right? Let me just take this out for a second. Okay. Augusto, Monomi. Okay, cool. Thank you. So if you see, and this man is like, I'm not even gonna tell you the brand of this man because I like this man sucks. Like the mengane, like it's so like it has not aged well. So there's one that is going to be wider, right? And you want to make sure that when you put that on, it's like right in front of your eye. So your eyes should be behind this. And if you're not wearing it properly, you see like it's not going to be in front. So your men's going to be tilted, or the opposite way is going to be tilted. Doesn't look good. It's gonna make you look like you're not standing correctly, even if you are. So you want to make sure that you put this properly. And that fits as good as possible. Your men fit as good as possible. So, what I've been doing, I think what I'm gonna do from now on is whenever I buy a man, just make sure that I save up. Or I don't know if you guys know, but like Shogun Kendogu makes Kendo equipment to order. It's machine made, so that way it's cheaper. But it's to order, so that way you get the proper fitting. So my decision is that when I'm gonna get a man, and kote, I'm definitely gonna get them custom made because it's just for the men. The monomi is so important, and for the kote, just because like they fit nicely from the first day. So that's my thing. So, and I'm not saying this because I'm not getting any type of compensation, but I really love Shogun Kendogu. They make really good equipment, and they have a 3-year warranty. So I always, I have full confidence on the equipment that they sell. Anyways, enough publicity, I guess. So let's see. Both menhimo should be lined together. The menhimo knot should be at eye. Okay, I talked about this before, right? So the menhimo, the knot should be right at the same size, same spot at the eye level, and it should be the. You want to make sure that this is straight. You don't want this crooked. The length should be within 40 centimeters. So the length of the himo, the knot, the excess himo, the loop, and the extra himo should not pass the 40 centimeters. I have a video in my channel where you can see how to tie the ends so that way like they don't fray out. But you should make sure that your menhimo, after you tie it, is within 40 centimeters long. And both of them should be at the same length. This always happens. Like this happens to mine. Can you guys see my mouse? Wait, you guys cannot see my. Oh, sorry. Okay, now you can see my mouse. So you see this happens often, and sometimes like at the beginning I was like stressing about like, oh, this is not perfect, but like it's so minimal. Okay, so common mistakes. The dough worn too high. Okay, this looks funny. Right? He looks like one of those like cartoon guys. Like he's like puffing up this chest, and the hakama is rising up from the front. I wish you guys could see what this looks like from a little bit far instead of so close because it looks funny. The koshita, because the color scheme is not easy to see, but koshita is not situated above the tarehimo, so it just looks bad. Menhimo is not tied. Menhimo knot is tied too low. So yeah, people think that because you tie it too low, it's gonna help you keep the men on. But the result is this. You see, the monomi goes lower, and I guess like you see when you're standing, when you look from the side, it can also look like you're not standing straight. Also, the tenogui here is flying out. You want to make sure you tuck this in. You don't want all this out here. The kotehimo is dangling down. So yeah, you want to make sure that your himo, is not too long. So mine is like this, and even this right now is bothering me. This is not hard. This is not hard to solve. I don't have my tape here, but what you do is just make the knot. You see, like if this is too long, you just make the knot. If you still have excess, you can use first. You put packing tape around the himo, then you cut it, and you end up with this, and it's not a problem. Augusto, you're saying that you can have the menhimo shorter. Yeah, it has to be within 40 centimeters. Shorter, that's 40 centimeters. It cannot exceed 40 centimeters, which is good if you mess on the cutting on the first time. You can do that. Now, keep in mind that when you cut the himo is braided, right? And when you unbraid it, it also stretches a little bit. So you always you try to cut a little bit below the 40 centimeters if you want to preserve as much himo as possible. But you're right, it can be shorter than 40 centimeters. Okay, I think that this is the main dish that you guys been waiting for, because this is the part where like a lot of people kind of make the wrong assumptions, and I guess it's the most interesting part is the points of executing Wazza, like the points of when you're there in the test. Okay, 6 points that they're putting here. Are you able to do lao kiai, kakegoe? So this is something that some of you might know that it was a challenge for me and I feel like this is something that I'm still working on, but very important. Are you capable of holding proper chudan no kamae? So this is important because again, you're going to be judged since the moment, actually since the moment, like since before you enter the court. But your kamae is what's going to prevent your opponent from just blindly coming in, and it's going to give you the opportunities to make openings and to execute your waza. So you want to make sure that you work on proper kamae. Are you able of correctly hitting and receiving Kirikaishi? Okay, so we're talking here for the EQ examinations, and I think in some countries they also do up to Shodan, they do Kirikaishi, maybe even more. And there's a couple of points in Kirikashi. I wanted to make a video about this, but the main thing is that you want to make sure that you're striking properly, aiming for the man. I feel like a lot of people get into the habit of aiming for the shinai, and they just like blindly hitting, but not really making it purposeful. That's one of my things, especially when I'm teaching Kirikashi. I want to make sure that everybody knows that I want the Kirikashi to be useful, right? Something that you can apply as well. And for that, you have to first aim for the man, not the shinai. Can you strike aggressively from isokuito no mae? So actually, this is a very, very good phrasing. Ha! Now I have two shinais, I can do this. So a lot of people, a lot of times, hold on, let me see. Okay, a lot of times people, when they do, especially when they're trying to do a small wasa, they kind of slowly come in to hit, right? Maybe their hands will explode to hit fast, but the whole body is kind of coming in. You want to you want to increase your speed as you go, right? Not just let your body fall into it. You want to pop, like come in and attack, and always increase the speed. So I think this is very important because it also shows good kendo, right? To do this properly, to understand this. And a big part of this, I think, for my experience, for what I'm seeing in people, is that you want to make sure you push with your left leg. If you don't have your footwork done, then you cannot do this. Oh yeah, Abby, you will say the whole thing about the two shinai, right? Because but I'm using two shinais to represent one shinai. Okay, I mean like two people. You use them differently. But yeah, but I like it. Let's see. Can you perform menuchi, kotemen, and any other nidan wasa? So two-step wasa. Kotemen, men maybe. Obviously, the opportunity may not be there for testing because ideally both of you want to go forward. So maybe men is not going to be necessarily an opportunity you're gonna get there, but it's something that you want to have in your repertoire. Hobbies, just so you know, so normally before I used to have this shinai, this little shinai here, it's like old and dirty, and now thanks to Jan, he sent me two shinai so I can properly, I guess he got frustrated of me using chopsticks or one chopstick and one little shinai, so he said, you know what, you need to get another two shinai, so there you go, now I can do proper showing with tiny shinais. So yeah, the credit goes to him. Can you seize at that Totsu opportunity? Okay, and this is a big point, I think, is because you want to understand how to approach your opponent, and you want to make sure that when you throw your waza, it's assertive. A lot of times I feel that when people throw their waza because they saw an opportunity, but it didn't really register. They just throw anything in there and they don't get they don't do proper tenouchi, they don't put their body together. So you want to make sure that you understand that even if you get the opportunity by luck, you want to make sure that you come in and you take you do proper execution of your technique. Hobbies. You say for small people, do you recommend to use more kote and do than men? No. Is it good to do that? I don't think so. I think, and there's a reason why I say this. If you're coming in with the mindset of, okay, I'm going to do something, then you're going to get stuck there. I think that it's going to be very visible in the test, and people and the judges are going to be like, okay, this guy just like it's like one way, like he's stuck into something. I think as part of your practice, you should understand and learn how to properly hit the man. I think the whole thing that you're shorter and you fight against someone that's very tall. Normally in testing, they try to pair you up with people about your same height and age. But if it's not possible, obviously you might have somebody much taller or much shorter. But that being said, during your practice, you should learn and understand the mechanics of your body to hit someone that's taller. The whole thing that you're shorter and you cannot hit somebody that's bigger, that got debunked for me when I was in Japan, because I've seen people much shorter than me, and I'm not even gonna say senseis, I'm gonna say kids and so on, fight against people much taller than them, and it's, you know, like it's never been a problem. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know Ariga Sensei from Ibogu. He has a picture with Tayo, his son, where he was like very little, and he was just leaping into his man and getting him, right? You know, I think that picture exemplifies the you know, like the fact that you can hit somebody higher. Augusto, now you can do Nito versus Chudan. I guess I'll have to do it like this, right? Like, I don't know, like if I have chopsticks or something, I don't know. But this one's too long though. Like one will be too long. I need like a toothpick for another one. Okay. So Avi, if you want me to do Nito, like I guess you have to send me like a shiai that's like this, right? And then I can do Nito against this. Anyways, just joking by the way. Yeah, hobbies. I mean, like, feel confident on executing. Okay, this is one of the recommendations. Let me just take this out of my face so that way I can say. One of the recommendations since the very beginning that I have gotten about testing is do your kendo. So you have to do the things that you feel confident with, that you can execute. If what you feel confident with is not enough to pass, then you have to go back to training to make sure that you develop those points and you feel confident with what you need to pass. On my last test, for example, I could tell you, I was having problems with my left leg, so I was having difficulties executing some wazzas that I normally can, and approaches that I normally can. So that day I just didn't feel confident. That's why I thought I was going to fail, because I thought I didn't show enough diversity in Wazza. But again, if you go to what you're out of your comfort zone, a lot of your things are going to suffer. So you want to make sure that you go in there and you do your kendo. I'm not saying that to copy what I did for my test and everything, because, you know, like I think I could have done better. But one thing is that you want to make sure that you come in and you do what you feel confident with. You know, whether you score or not, that's not relevant, but you want to come in and show a confident approach. It happens a lot when people come in, and I think it happened to one of the person that I tested with, that, you know, you cannot start putting your approach, like putting pressure, but then kind of like maybe the way that he was doing it was not why he felt confident, so he had to get back up when I returned the pressure, right? You want to make sure that you go and figure out what you feel confident with, and you apply that in your testing, I think. Again, many people's gonna give you many advice, and I'm not exempt from that. Kigurai, okay. Wait, what does the word kigurai mean? Hold on. I like the Japanese sometimes escapes me. Hobbies. Excuse my ignorance. Okay, so again, from this guide, we're gonna see a little bit of explanation on each point. Are you able to do loud kiai? You should yell as loud as you can in order to raise your kiai level. Make sure your voice isn't released from your throat but from your abdomen, all while maintaining proper posture. This is very essential. I feel like a lot of times when people are starting to practice their kiai, they tense up their shoulders as they're doing kiai. Kigurai, confidence. Okay, cool. Thank you, hobbies. Nice. I need to practice my Japanese. I haven't. It's been a minute. So anyway, a lot of people, when they try to practice kiai, and actually Griva Sensei gave me a drill when I was in Mexico with him that, well, he gave us a drill, not just me. It's just to, stand on kamae in front of your opponent and kiai, just kiai for a good 10, 15, 20 seconds. Then you get into the drill. I think it's very, very appropriate, very good exercise because you want to learn how to do this. You want to learn how to breathe and how to use your kiai properly. One thing that I want to say that I keep in mind is that if I'm going to do kiai, to avoid this, just like pull your shoulders back and down. I don't know if you can see it because of the chair and because I'm wearing all black, but you want to make sure you keep that, not clench up your shoulders. A kakegoe yell is not men, but rather a short, quick men release in the breath. By taking advantage of such deep breath as you strike, your arms can swing faster and perform quicker. This is something I never heard before, specifically. So it does make sense on this. I feel that a lot of times when people say man, they're like man, right? And it's kind of like just like I understand this point. The last point is the part that like I never heard about, but it does make sense. But you want to make a quick man, right? And you want to make it tight. You want to come in and explode at the same time, allowing your hara to kind of explode with your kiai at the same time that you tighten up your tenouchi and you do your strike. Very interesting point. And you want to keep that intensity all the way through until you turn around to face your opponent back in kamae. So you don't want to like, man. Yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs. Are you capable of holding a proper chudan on kamae? Holding a correct chudan on kamae is one of the fundamental basics. Here are some pointers to attend to during the exam. If you extend a line from your kensen to your opponent, it should point to the area between his eyes. Some sensei says eyes. Some people say to do their opponent's left eye. Some people throat. I think there's a little bit of discrepancy in there. What I like to do is I try to make sure that my tip is keeping my opponent as far as possible. So obviously you don't want to make it down here. You want to keep the shiai towards the opponent, but also you want to make sure that the shiai is not like pointing away from their head. Like, so for me, it's more closer to the throat than it is to the eyes. So, but that's what I've been taught. Both arms shouldn't be stiff. Correct. Both arms, you shouldn't like lock your elbows. You shouldn't bring up your shoulders. Shoulders back and down, and a comfortable bend of your elbows should be good. One fist away from your belly button and the thumb in front of your belly button as well. Left fist should be in front of the belly button. The first joint of the thumb should be situated as if it's heading towards the navel. How do you say that? Navel and navel. Okay. Was that the right word? Okay. In effect, causing the left fist should slightly slip to the left. So the way I was told is to just went like from here. A lot of people, they put the fist. Okay, here's my belly button. They put the fist in front of the belly button. I put the thumb in front of my belly button, right? So because here I am like I end up. You see what happened with my shoulders? So here I don't want to pull it out this way, right? But I want to make sure that I have a comfortable spot with my left arm. I don't want to. You see what's happening with my wrist too, my elbow. So I mean, not my elbow, my shoulder. I want to avoid that. I want to make sure that I'm relaxed and I can open up towards my opponent. These little tiny shinais are coming in handy, man. Like I'm liking it. Okay, extend your backbone, relax your shoulders, and tighten your lower abdomen. So, extend your backbone. Like you mean the spine? So one thing that I always like to avoid. I don't know if you guys can see it here. Okay, man, I need to get a different color shirt. Okay, so you want to avoid making a curve here where you're kind of tightening your lower back. What I like to do is I like to push my hips forward, and this is straighter. Okay, this is straighter rather than like this. You see? So I'm tightening my core just to make sure I'm pushing forward towards my opponent. I hope that makes sense. But I do have a video in my channel about that, so you guys can go watch that. Are you able to correctly hitting and receiving Kirikaishi? The main points that require attention during grading are, as explained earlier in page 34. Okay, I don't know. They haven't. Okay, we didn't get the whole guide, by the way. It's important to know Kirikaishi, as it includes several key movements. As you practice Kirikaishi, practice how to turn the wrist. Okay. That means that when you're doing Kirikaishi, you're using the wrist, right, rather than pulling the shiai this way, which is what I see a lot of people doing. They pull out this way, they pull out this way, and this is not okay. Okay, like bending. You want to extend, right? Want to extend. Man, hope that makes sense. Practice how to turn the wrist, okay, how to be able to apply tenouchi, how to regain balance after hitting an ashisabaki in order to develop a correct solid kirikashi. When you switch to motodachi, and this is very, very important, be a good motodachi. Make sure you receive the strikes properly and using the correct movements. So again, you want to give your partner a good distance. You want to show proper timing on your footwork and in your shiai handling. But there's another point. When you're doing Kirikaishi, when you're receiving Kirikaishi, you also have an opportunity to practice tenouchi as well, right? As you go to the side, if you do tenouchi right at the moment of impact, you get like it becomes more of a solid rather than like a loose hit. It helps your partner, but it also is a time for you to practice your timing and your tenouchi, right? Because you can use that to, during keiko, if somebody's coming at you, you can use that as a deflection, right? Like maybe for like what would be a good technique? Because I think Suryashi, you can do it as well when you do when you do Suryashi like that, right? Like it kind of has the same feeling, but it's not quite the same motion. But anyways, applying the tenouchi, it can help you as well to improve your kendo. Can you strike aggressively from Isokuito no Mae? Isokuito no Mae is the range in which if either of you or your opponent is to take one step closer and strike, he will reach his target. This is why it is important to come with substantial amount of aggressive feeling before entering Isokuito. Yes. You want to come in with the sense of, I'm coming in to get you. You don't want to just come in just to see what happens. You're coming in. You may initiate or strike as your opponent moves, but do that as you hold sen. You hold the center. Strike as soon as you see an opportunity to hit that totsu. And always be aggressive. I think this mindset will help you a lot. In order to take advantage of more openings. If you come in with an aggressive thought rather than, let me see what happens as I get close to that danger zone. Can you perform a correct menuchi and other nidan wazza? It is important that your physical posture doesn't break before or after hitting menuchi. In particular, do not leave your hips behind as you strike. So don't drag your body, drag your left leg. For shoten and EQ levels, menuchi should be a basic straightforward strike. Furthermore, you should be aggressive in performing any attack that is based on menuchi, such as kotemen, men, or any other nidan wazza. You shouldn't be planning to do a nidan wazza from the beginning, but rather use your momentum from your initial attack when it fails and continue your attack. Yes. There's no reason to do and that's kind of what I was saying too. I think it was to you, hobbies, right? To make sure that you don't come in with that mindset, I'm going to do something, but instead you're coming in, you're performing a wazza, And for the next Wazza is because the opportunity is there and because my first one didn't make it. You don't need to go for that second Wazza if you had a good and proper strike. That being said, Kotemen should be Kotemen should be struck with the intention of you going for the kote and then the men, right? Of course, there are exceptions, but ideally you want to come in for that kote. So if you're going for the kote, you are going for the kote and you didn't make it, okay, then you go for the men. If you extend your spine when you strike, men, your hips will naturally flex forward, okay? So you see here, he is with his body straight and not leaning forward. So here in the second one, he's leaning forward, and this is what happens. In this case, is when you start dragging your legs. Okay, good. Need which example? Kote men. If you quickly pull back your left leg after hitting kote, your posture will remain stable. The timing of the foot, just make sure that you come in like pop, pop, right? Like you're bringing the foot pop, pop to keep going. And as a matter of fact, this is something that maybe I can even make a video about this. But when you do kote men, I feel that a lot of people, they do a nice kote and then they have the proper footwork for doing the men, but then at the moment of the men, the footwork starts falling apart. So normally, if you ask someone to do one man, they do the man, they drag the left leg. You ask them to do kote men, they do perfect, but for the men, they drag the leg. So a friend of mine, a few years back, they told me like, do every step as if you're going to attack again. That mindset, I feel that made such an important improvement in my kendo. So even if you're not going to attack, even if you're done, you bring your footwork as if you're going to do another one. That way you make sure to have proper posture on your feet, proper energy, and good pushing from the floor. Proceed to strike men following kote without breaking your posture. Okay, so perform in Soku Wazza just like Nidan Wazza aggressively. So again, oh my god, I'm sorry guys. What you want to do, make sure to push with the feet every time. Make sure you have proper footwork, and I think that just makes such a big difference. Can you seize a Datatsu opportunity? When facing your opponent during grading, you shouldn't be hitting randomly. Instead seize an opening while focusing at your opponent's movement and strike during that short interval. The following points cover the most common striking opportunity. Okay, so very important. Seize an opening while focusing at your opponent's movement. So I feel that a lot of times I see in testing that people just kind of like get into a rhythm. Man, I should do it to shinais. I have two shinais for that. So, like, they go like, man, they turn around. Man, they turn around. Man, no, right? You should start trying to get closer. Try to get closer with that to that distance. Come in with intention. Come in with aggressiveness, right? Try to take that center and focus on how they're moving. Are they going back? Are they going forward? And when you see that opportunity, you come in with that aggressiveness that we talked about in the previous point. You want to make sure you stay away from just, man. You want to avoid that. It looks like a choreograph almost sometimes. Okay. Most common striking opportunities. Hold on. From the position where both kensen are in contact with each other, hit the totsu as your opponent steps into uchima, distance where both shinais cross each other. So, let's see. So, from the position where both kensen are in contact with each other, hit the totsu as the opponent steps into uchima. So, in this moment, you want to strike with aggressiveness as the shinai is crossing with each other, right? Does that make sense? So you're coming in, and your opponent's coming in, and you attack. So you catch him as they're in motion, right? Especially if they do a long step, you have more time. That opening is bigger, is wider. So ideally, you want to strike when he makes it. He's making it to that comfortable position of yours, because what's going to happen if you wait for him to reach there, then his feet are in a proper position to deflect you or to counter. But if you anticipate and go before he gets there, I think that makes such a big difference. I don't know, that's something that I've been trying to work on, and it makes a difference for me. Tell me your experience. The strike when the opponent steps back. So this one, I feel that it's very interesting. What am I doing? I have two shinais. This one I like to do a lot, where like if I'm stepping forward and he's stepping back, with tight footwork, you make sure that you keep that distance, or you slowly creeping in as you're falling back. And when you're at that point where you're comfortable to attack, you can just launch at them, and because they're in the backward momentum, it's hard for them to counter or do anything. But you have to be careful, because sometimes they're actually baiting you. They're actually going back to anchor themselves to push forward, and that's when I feel like a lot of times people get caught off guard as well. A strike when the opponents attempt to parry your Wazza, etc. What does it mean? Okay, hold on. Let me see the picture real quick. Okay, striking during the moments opening while paying attention to your opponent's movement is one of the kihon of acquiring a datotsu opportunity. So, guys, when we talked about basics, when we talk about kihon, it's not just about, oh, okay, let me just hit the man. I think this picture, what they're saying in this picture, exemplifies that, because understanding this opening, this most basic opening, that's part of kihon, and that's some of the things that you also want to practice with your partners during keiko or during drills, but you want to acquire this skill early on. Trust me, early on. A lot of people that just focus on like, oh, I just want to hit the man, hit the man, hit the man. Yeah, but when do you hit the man? Anyways. A strike when the opponent tries to parry your Wazza. A lot of times you see people, I guess I'll have to get a dictionary, but I'm not sure if parry and deflection are the same. But I feel like sometimes when you try to make a hit, people, when they block, they kind of get frozen there, so you can go for another Wazza on this way, or maybe like the other way. That's another opportunity, because they kind of freeze for half a second when you're in that moment. A strike when your opponent is heading forward. Oh, look, they're breaking it down here. Both kensos are touching each other, okay? Isokuito no mae, as both shinais intersect each other, both opponent enter uchima. From there, hit the moment your opponent enter his striking distance. So, hit at the moment that the opponent enters the striking distance, not attack when the opponent enters the striking distance. This is what I was saying before, right? You don't want to wait for the person to get there and then attack, make the decision to get. No. You want them to start coming in. I guess I should take this picture here. What you want them to do is that you want to anticipate when they're gonna get there. So as they're coming in, before they get in there, you want to attack and hit at the moment where they make when they get to the uchima. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. I like this guy, guys. I like this guy. It's simple enough, and but it's also meaningful enough. And there's a lot of things that we can learn from this. And I want to say, this, we're talking about testing, right? But all these are concepts that you can transfer into shiai. Okay, that touch opportunity strike when your opponent moves back. Okay, they start from Tomai. Kendoka on the right applies seme by entering Isokuito no mae. Strike the moment your pressure opponent steps back. So again, this I think this one requires a little bit more self-awareness, because you also want to understand your distance and how far you can go in, because it could miss it depending on your opponent. Oh, this is what I was mentioning before. Strike when your opponent attempts to parry your Wazza. So I always like to think about using the shiai to deflect rather than block, because blocking, you end up in a position like this where like you're frozen, right? So then the opponent can come around and hit the Wazza. Hitman. Oh, okay. So this one's cool. Hitman when your opponent tries to block the kote, right? So maybe anticipated your kote and they went wrong. Hit kote when your opponent tries to block man. I feel like playing rock paper scissors like that, right? Points on executing Wazzas. Okay, so let me see how. Okay, we've been here for a minute. Maybe I should. I'm thinking that maybe I should separate this. We're halfway from the guide. Should we keep going with this, or should I do it in the next stream? What do you guys think? So I feel like there's a lot of information. Let me read the points real quick. Are the components of the strike speed, skillfulness, accuracy better than shodan level? Have your movements become smoother, and are you striking less ineffective strikes? Is the lower back hip stable? Is the lower back / hips stable? Is there a display of uchiai tsunagi within the exchange of strikes? Are you sufficiently comfortable using shikake wasa? So these are specific points on executing wasa. Let me go through this ones, because I feel like this ones kind of relate to what we're talking about on the one before, and then I think I'll stop it there. Okay, are the components of a strike better than shodan level? So I'm guessing what they're trying to say here is that going from one grade to the next one, we're talking about from EQ up to shodan. So mind you, I feel like a lot of these points and concepts sometimes they get forgotten when testing in further grades. This is a good basics to take over to the next level, okay? So your ability to seize the correct strike opportunities and the qualities of your strike. Speed, accuracy, and tenacity should be combined together to form a smoother datatsu than shodan level. Tenouchi is achieved by holding your shiai lightly and avoid applying power with both hands as you strike. So, I don't have a small shiai, like with two-hand shiai here, but one thing that you want to make sure you do when you're striking is that you don't want to pull down and push down with your right hand. The way I like to see it is that the left hand is applying the force and the speed. The right one, it's guiding where the sword is going to go, but then at the end it's stopping the shiai rather than putting pressure down, right? Augusto, I think that's a good idea. So what I'm gonna do is because I didn't want to go too long with this, so we can watch some Ippons and maybe we can think about how this relates to the Ippons. So I'm gonna do that. What I want to do though is I want to go over this last 6 points because I think they relate to the previous things and they relate to actually striking and applying Wazza. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this last points and we're going to go into the videos. A good datatsu is not possible if you attempt to strike using your hands as your arms, and upper body will become tense accordingly. Instead, use your legs and hips and picture yourself hitting with your lower body half. That way neither your upper body nor your arms become tense, and your strikes become smooth and fast. Guys, if you work for anything during Kendo, you want to work to make your motions smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Have your movements become smoother, and are you striking less ineffective strikes? During grading, it is important not to attack recklessly as if you are doing kakari geiko, but rather minimize the amount of useless strikes and focus on striking at critical opportunities. Just as introduced, page 44, seize the opportunity to strike when you notice an opening as you're focusing on your opponent's movement and never let it slip by. Okay. Furthermore, your movement shouldn't be stiff, or you won't be able to take advantage of any favorable opportunity or strike properly. Your body should remember the fundamentals Ash Sabaki and Tai Sabaki in order to execute Wazzas and move smoothly. Very important, the switch between different type of footworks is very important during the execution of Wazza, so keep that in mind. 3. Is your lower back stable? Do not use your arms or upper body to hit during grading. Instead, try using your lower body half. Be very mindful of using your legs to generate your strike. A large angle between the armpits and the upper body at the moment of impact implies only the upper body was used to strike. To strike using your hips within the feeling of standing back muscles. Let me see. Okay, so the difference, you want to make sure that you hit straight. You don't want to bend over. And all this is achieved too by keeping your core engaged. Is there a display of Uchiai Tsunagi within the exchange? Uchiai Tsunagi is not letting your guard down after you strike, quickly seizing Zanshin and Sen, and being in a ready kamae before your opponent. Seizing Zanshin quickly implies being able to pressure your opponent immediately after you strike and acquiring his Sen. Right after the Totsu strike is over, do not let go of your feeling, but get into an attack-ready posture and kokoro gamae as soon as possible. So, let's see if they have a picture. Okay, hold kamae and Sen. Be ready for your next move before your opponent. This is what defines Uchiai no Tsunagi. So, this I saw a lot, and this I was actually warned or reminded, sorry, before my test, is that you want to make sure that when you turn around, you're turning around with engagement of your opponent. You're not there by yourself, as if you're turning around and you're going to fight right at that moment as if he was right there next to you. You don't know if he's going to be there. You know, you lost visual contact with him for a quarter of a second or whatever, but still, you want to make sure that you keep in mind where he is, so that way you show that readiness, and you always prepare to seize an opportunity. Okay? Are you sufficiently comfortable using Shikake Wazza? Once that shiai has begun, take initiative by applying pressure to your opponent and aggressively executing Shikake Wazza. It should be difficult to apply Sen no Sen to your opponent if your posture lacks the feeling of acquiring Sen. Acquiring Sen implies maintaining an aggressive mindset at all times. In the case of Shikake Wazza, it is Sen no Sen, and in the case of Oji Wazza, it is Go no Sen. We need to save this because I get this question a lot. Always being psychologically superior to your opponent before your strike. Okay? Hope that makes sense, right? When you're doing Shikake Wazza, you want to make sure that you are applying pressure, you're coming in with confidence, and you're trying to make that opening, right? When you're doing Oji Wazza, you're still applying pressure. You're not just there waiting for the person to come in, right? Acquire Sen once your opponent has initiated his move. Strike man. So it's hard to see this on picture, right? The Banamen and the Banakote are very effective in regards to moving opponents. And we gotta remember that this is specifically the Banamen is a Shikake Wazza, right? So you're making sure that you're applying the pressure. Okay, there's a point that I didn't realize on this, and that's why I'm going to stop it here. Is that this points on executing Wazza has to do with Nidan, right? So I think up to Shodan, this was a very, very good, point to stop. This is very interesting. You know, they separated by grades and they improve it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retake in next stream. I'm going to retake from EQ to Shodan, and I'm going to go further up, maybe up to Sandan Yondan. Let's see how far down he goes. Okay, Sandan. Yondan. Okay. Oh, and I get this after I test for Golden, huh? Okay, all the way to Golden. It makes sense, right? Because I know in Japan they start considering instructor ranking at Rokudan, so it makes sense that they stop it at Golden here. Pretty cool. We need to find the Rokudan and above guide. I bet you after I pass Rokudan is when I'm going to get that guide. Just to be funny, just being funny. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions about this, if you feel like that you have a different opinion on all this stuff, please let me know. I do want to maybe go over this. Make a specific video, especially about the wearing the uniform and all this stuff first. And then if I find a partner that I can do some of this other stuff to demonstrate it, to show my opinion on video, I will try to do that because I want to make sure that kind of becomes a little bit more clear. Sometimes seeing some of this stuff in pictures is not easy. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. So let me start playing the video that I had saved for you guys. Let me open it up. Hold on. Okay, open file. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, sorry, it's not this one. Okay, so this one. One second, guys. Okay. So just so you guys know, what we're going to do is we're going to watch from the third round up. We're going to watch the Ippon compilation. I want to make sure that I just quick little refresher over here in the guide that we were reading before. It's a couple of things that I wanna make sure that we're looking for. Obviously, the 6 main points, I think we're gonna be able to identify fairly quick. Are you able to do lakiai? Are you able to? Are you capable of holding proper kamae? I think these guys can hold proper kamae for a while, right? Are you able to correctly healing? Okay, we're not doing Kirikaishi. Can you strike aggressively? It's going to be good. It's going to be 1. Can you perform correct menu, chikotemen, or any other nidan wasan? Can you seize the Totsu opportunity? That's something to keep in mind as we watch this video. But because we also read about the nidan level, are the components of strike better than speed, skillfulness, and accuracy? We'll be looking at some of that. Have you smooth motions? We're gonna try to identify what smooth movements looks like, and stability of the lower back. Make sure that seeing how they hit straight and they're able to move with it. The attention after the strike, the engagement after the strike, especially after they go through. And of course, we're gonna try to see if they use some type of the bana waza and all that stuff. See how that goes. So anyways, here's a video. Let me make sure I stop the music. Okay, here we go. Actually, no, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the music shouldn't be there, and you guys should be getting the sound. Okay. Oh, very nice. I wish they had like the slow motion, so let's... That was a close call for the Tsuki. Right, he missed it because he was a little bit too low. But he was able to immediately just pick up that moment and hit the Hiki Man. Guys, this is one of the reasons why I say always try to make sure you engage and you get out with a Wazza. Don't just stay there to try to relax on Tsuba Serie. Right now, because of the new COVID rules, we're seeing a lot less Tsuba Serie people lingering here, and maybe we're starting to see the effect of that's having on people. Especially, I'm seeing this more with the people I've been practicing of staying less here and be more engaged at that moment to get out. So keep it in mind. Yeah, hobbies. They're so fast. They're so fast. Well, they train for this. They train specifically for this. See how they go back to posture, back to kamae immediately after an attack. Oh, great. So this will count as Nidan Wasa, right? He attacks. He goes for the man. No, he goes for the kote. He misses. Because of Tenouchi, he's keeping good control, right? He's not overextending. He's not overreaching with his sword. Like, if you watch this. So, I feel like a lot of times when you hit with both hands, when you hit with the right hand, you overextend and the sword goes down too far, right? But here, he's able, with the Tenouchi, to control how much the sword goes past and then able to recover. And then, just like the motion of Kirikashi, he switches the angles and hits Sajuman. Very nice, very nice. You see how White went in from the opening and was able to keep his posture and then defend? Sorry to you see right here? No, okay. As they start, right there, you see he goes back to kamae immediately because he's keeping his feet under his body. He's not leaning forward. Oh, very short. Oh my god. The emotion of that man. It's interesting because he looked like Red started a motion, but then he kind of like held himself back. And that's why he couldn't challenge. You see, like here, it looked like they were challenging each other for the men. White has the center, has the forward momentum, right? Like very good approach. He still has the center. Now, Red is coming a little bit from the side, but He's too low. He's also too low. If he was a little bit higher, I think he could have challenged the man and move his sword out of the center, but he wasn't there. So he throws the man, he misses it, just a little bit behind, like under, and White was able to get on top of him and get that man. Oh, he got him. He got him. He caught him sleeping. Like, you see, he kind of came in and he kind of relaxed and he came in. That's why we have to be careful of when we approach that area. You have to be with that aggressiveness. You have to come in with aggressiveness forward. I don't like the command of the red one. I'm gonna say that. Like, I feel like he's too stiff on the back. But he got skills though. Look how you have to be aware. Like, if you're attentive in that moment. Where's the Jordan family here? I feel like nobody right now lately has been talking about Jordan. That's okay. That we have to watch that just because. Okay, look at the timing. He caught him a fraction of a second before he let go of the shiai. Like, and if you look at the guy's face, he's looking around because he thought they weren't gonna give him the Ippon, because he knows he got it. Oh, we have to watch that again. That looked tricky. Hold on. Let's see what happened here. You see, this is what I mean about, like, you have to be careful when people go back, because he went back, but he anchored himself to go forward. Ah, look at that! Look at that! I knew it. Okay, this happens sometimes. It doesn't look like he got the hit right. I mean, I cannot say much because I wasn't there, but. Nah, it was very fast. Let me see why. Okay, did White get that kote? Hold on. No, White didn't get the kote either. But I have to say this, guys. This is the importance of having good Tenoichi, good Kikentaichi, because it can make it look. If this was an Ippon, it can definitely make it look as an Ippon, right? Because, like, it's all together. He looked like he felt he got it. So maybe I'm just misreading it. Maybe he hit it and the sword went out to the side. I don't know. It looked tricky from this angle. Oh, very nice, Ippon. I was about to say, I thought Red had it. So if you guys know that one of my favorite techniques to watch and to practice is Imen, and so well, obviously this is not Imen, right? But you know, both of them challenge each other with such good intensity. That's always exciting for me. Oh, I like this is one of my favorite Wazzas. Like he goes big motion for the man, good distance. I'm especially interested on the how deep. You see, like the depth of his footwork is very long. Like he's very deep in his footwork, and the hands are not so extend. He has to bring a little bit closer because he made it a little bit too far in. But this is important to do, to come in deep, because that's what makes it believable that he's going for the man. If not, he's not gonna fall for the fact that he's coming for a man. It's so cool. I like this. I like Red's Kamai. Oh, nice. This look at he's coming in with that aggressiveness, right? Forward, and then he explodes. He's not just letting his body fall into his opponent. He's coming in. Very nice, very tight. Look how high he gets the sword over his opponent's body. Look. He's bringing the sword up pretty almost straight up, looking to the ceiling, and then he brings it straight forward, straight down into his opponent's man. Very nice, very nice. Very nice. Okay, this one had a little bit of the same element of Red coming in aggressively, but here it's the second point we're talking about of opportunity of striking the Wazza. He's striking him as his opponent is going backwards. You see, his opponent is going backwards, and he's going for that man right after. Just like we saw in the testing guide, right? Like it's the second opportunity to hit. Oh, oh yeah, that's okay. Let me see. Let's see who got that Ippon. So white is coming in. Red is almost reacting. Okay, no, yeah, white had that. I mean, red had that. I do like that Hoshiko plays with the swords, right? He's not just pop open and hit, open and hit. He does seem to be using a little bit more of, like, I guess, Shinai talk. I guess I'm gonna call it like that. Completely made up term. Rexa, bienvenida. Gracias por pasar. You see, Hoshiko is trying to control the Shinai as it's coming in and trying to make an opening by having control of the opponent's Shinai. Trying to figure out his opponent. That was a hard spot to see the kote. Look at the aggressiveness that White is hitting with. Oh, straightforward, man. Okay, one thing that I want to point out from this man is that look how White is coming in. Hayashida. Look how it's coming in. You'll see. White is stepping into the distance, but look at his hands, look at his kamae, look at his shinai in relationship to his opponent as well, right? He's moving in with his feet. The hands are staying there. He's keeping his center, and he's keeping the connection with his opponent. I feel a lot of times when people are coming in, as they step in, it's kind of like they're in such a hurry to get the men that they start moving the shinai, the tip of the shinai up before they get into striking distance, making it that much more predictable, right? And making you susceptible to being hitting on the kote. He's keeping the center in here. He's keeping the connection. He's figuring out what is he doing. Right now, his opponent is not fighting his shinai. He's just keeping it. He's keeping his shinai there, but he's not fighting him out of place. As a matter of fact, now he's actually getting away from the center line, right? And White is just keep going forward, keep going straight. He just kept his momentum and got it. Especially when you're bringing the shinai, when you're bringing the sword up out of the center. Now, right there, you just made that opening right here for the man, right? But if you would have kept it here, whole different story, right? But it feels like he didn't want to fight against the shinai. He just wanted to, I don't know. He was so desperate in covering that I feel that made him get that opening because his opponent was able to take his men from that angle. Hobbies. Is it good to change Suryashi after the cut? What do you mean change to Suryashi after the cut? So let's see, like okay, so just to, because this is also a conversation that I had to have. Jan actually helped me with this because I had a little bit of a misconception when it came to footwork like this. But Suryashi, it means to just rub your feet on the floor. When you're doing Suryashi, you do it. So Okuriyashi, you lift. You can do Okuriyashi with Suryashi, right? Where like you're lifting the feet, but you're not crossing the feet. So, okay, intercambiando los pies, so switching the feet. So this will be Ayumiyashi, right? So Okuriyashi is like this, and then Suryashi is like rubbing the feet on the floor. Ayumiyashi, you're crossing the feet. So, yes, it is okay. So the reason why we do Okuriyashi as we're approaching the opponent, we do this because we want to be effective and able to hit our opponents at the moment of the opportunity. Let me just open this here. Okay, so with Okuriyashi, the reason why we do Okuriyashi is because after each step, we want to be effective on pushing again towards the opponent. With Okuriyashi during a fight, we're trying to come in, and as soon as the opening is there, we want to have the footwork ready. When we hit, sometimes people do ayumiyashi, like when they're trying to get away quicker. Different techniques, like for example with do, it's okay to maybe do one or two, but ideally what you want to do is you want to always go back to that okuriyashi, so that way when you turn around, you're back on command, you're ready. But it is okay to switch the footwork in different spots in order to, reach your desired goal per se. But I will say, as a part of training, as part of your development in Kendo, master Okuriyashi first before you're thinking about, oh, I have to change some Ayumiyashi here and there. Push yourself to do everything with Okuriyashi at first, so that way you get to improve the what's it called, your abilities within the footwork, because that is going to be harder. I think it's harder to learn to do proper okuriyashi than it is to do proper ayumiyashi. Does that answer your question? I hope that answer what you were asking. Each footwork has its advantage as well. I feel for Okuriyashi, for example, you can go equally fast forward as you can go backwards. With Ayumiyashi, you can cover more distance, you can go faster as you switch your footwork, but it will not allow you to be ready for an attack like as quickly as Okuriyashi would. Okay, cool. I answered your question. Nice. Look at the way they wear the uniform too, right? It's a good presentation. I wish they had a different angle on this Suki. I wanna. Maybe Kendo World has a different angle on this Suki. The timing was great. The execution was great. I just want to see it from a different angle. This man. I love how they both challenge each other. They're very strong. Both of them, look how they clash. Okay, and this is another thing, guys. Look, both of them are really going in for the center. Both of them are going in 100%. Look how they clash in the center, right? Literally, Hoshiko was faster than him for milliseconds. But look what happens right here after this point. They both hit, right? And look, they clash here forward so much that look, both feet of Hoshiko coming forward because Hayashida, it's he seems to be bigger than him. So Hoshiko's feet coming forward, both of them are clashing in the middle and then both separating out to the side. A lot of times, I guess we're trying to be careful, we're trying to be nice, and when we hit the man, we hit the man, but then we try to go out to the side. We don't really challenge that center to come out. This is something that maybe we should take the time to specifically practice how to do this to make sure that we're going, because I feel that you go much more with much more intention to the man when you do it like that. Oh. Very nice. That sense of awareness and that sense of intention forward. You see, Hoshiko is keeping the pressure forward. He's catching his opponent, as we said, in like on the way going backwards, right? He's keeping the pressure forward, tight footwork. He's being aware of his opponent's shinai, but not letting go of his ground, and being swift to go forward to get that Ippon. Very nice, very nice, very nice, guys. Very nice, very nice. Guys, I'm gonna say that I really like watching this video with the mindset of the different approaches. What we saw about the guide from the test, I think that a lot of the things that we need to do for our tests apply to shiai and jigeiko. So those are elements that we need to practice because they transfer within the whole spectrum of kendo. I don't think that there's such thing as like, oh, one kendo for testing, one kendo for shiai. There's different things we do, but I feel like the essence and the concept should stay fairly consistent throughout, right? Your footwork, your posture, your approach, your knowledge of Wazza, your confidence, your kiai, all these things that they should be standardized throughout your whole practice. Not only shiai or testing, should do it on regular day-to-day jigeiko. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from this guide a couple of points. So when we watch the videos, we try to keep it in mind, and also maybe I can make a list that's simple enough that we can remember it when we're doing keiko. That way we can keep these things in mind and work ourselves into improving that. I think that's very interesting. I'll share it in the Discord. Again, if you haven't already, please check out the Discord. Here, the guide that we talked about today, the testing guide is there in the resources channel. You can check it out. All the credits and the original guide you can find from that file. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this stream, guys. I promise I'm trying to be more consistent, trying to find a better pattern to do this thing. I just been having a couple things that I've been taking care of. Crazy enough, last week it was my birthday, my dad's birthday, and my mom's birthday. We have birthday like one back to back. So it was a crazy weekend, right? A lot of food, a lot of cakes. It's like I need to go do more kendo. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for passing by. I really enjoy everybody that was here. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, or you can go to the Discord channel and we can talk about it. You guys, I pinged okay. I should have pinged this. What I should have pinged. Sorry. The Discord replace pin. There you go. I should have pinned this other link. Anyways, guys, if anything, the Discord channel is down in the description box below. Guys, thank you very much for passing by. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know if you have any question or request that you want me to do for the channel. Augusto, thank you very much. I'll see you next week. I'll make it the same time. Hobbies, congratulations. Okay, thank you very much. You guys have a good week. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.